So, this episode was refreshing. It was. I was expecting it to be slow. I was expecting it to not have any action. I was expecting it to just be one of those really slow episodes where, so I just watched Chikadai play shogi with Ryogi. But you know what? It was actually pretty decent. We had some Temari action in there too. And there's definitely something fishy going on with the leader of the Byakuya gang. Okay, there's definitely something fishy going on there. And the reason why I say this is because he's always bringing up on this episode anyways, he's always bringing up the public perception of the Byakuya gang. And it seems like he needs that as part of his plan. So what I'm assuming that it is that he wants to get in good graces with everybody within the village, like that he's helping out. At the same time though, what he wants to do with that is he wants to steal something that's for himself, not to help out somebody else, but he wants to basically steal something super big for himself. And then that way, the people that he helped basically kind of still perceive them as good guys because they already know they steal, right? So they're gonna probably assume that they're just stealing to help somebody out, but it's probably just for them. I don't know. I'm assuming that that's what's going on because this whole thing with the Noble Thieves act, I feel like it's gonna run its course pretty soon. I mean, on this episode, this was what, the second episode of the arc, and then you could tell there's something going on in between the lines. And Ryogi doesn't seem to be in the loop about it. That's the other problem. I can definitely see there's gonna be like a fallout between Ryogi and his dad, who's the leader of the gang. And we did find out that Ryogi is part of the gang as well. He had the mask and everything. The way we found that out is that Iwabe, all the Genin were instructed not to engage in combat with the Byakuya gang, and Iwabe did that. Okay, Iwabe ran into them and he attacked them. And now what happened was that he was too careless, right? And Denki was actually getting attacked. Denki got attacked by one of those icicles that they do with the ice style. And Meadow, in an attempt to, defend him or protect him, actually hurt his arm pretty bad. And the whole time I saw Meadow Lee in the hospital, I was hoping I would see Tenten open the door and be like, hey, Meadow, are you okay? I was expecting that. I don't know why, man, but I just want them to finally tell us if Tenten is the mom. And every time I see something with Meadow, where they're giving him a little bit of spotlight, and there's a chance that they might show that his mom, I'm like, damn, man, I just want them to do it. But they never do. They never do, because they want to keep that a secret. At some point, they're probably going to reveal it. But you know what? It is like a little thing of a learning curve that the Genin are going through. Iwabe realizes that he messed up and his friend got hurt because of it, and you could tell that he regretted it. But you know what? You live and learn, right? Then the whole thing with the episode kind of took a different turn, where it was more about Chikadai. And here's the thing about Chikadai, man. He's a very smart guy, okay? He's just like Chikamaru. He's very smart. And even though Chikamaru, even though Chikadai doesn't really pry too much, he actually meets up with Ryogi, and before he meets up with Ryogi, he runs into his mom, Temari. And I like the fact that they actually had Temari in this episode. She actually had a big amount of screen time on this episode, which I actually really enjoyed. But the whole time, Ryogi's telling Chikadai, hey man, why don't you ever ask me questions? Aren't you a little, like this man is literally kind of baiting him into asking him personal questions. And Chikadai's like, nah, bro, nah. I think prying is just too much of a drag. Everything is a problem for this man, so he'd rather not do it. And essentially, Boruto comes in. Boruto's like, hey, do I know you? Now, the thing with Ryogi is the way he made his exit, because the thing is, the gang were supposed to steal from this pawn shop while he was basically with Chikadai. And the way Ryogi made his exit out of the conversation with Boruto and Chikadai to go help out the Byakuya gang, this man used his eye style, right? And I'm sitting here like, bro, is nobody suspicious of this? Nobody raised a concern. I mean, Boruto should have been the only one to be able to raise a concern because Chikadai had not really been he hadn't been in combat with the Byakuya gang, so he really couldn't tell. But the funny thing about this entire episode is that Chikadai is the only one that really found out, because you can tell at the end of the episode that Chikadai already kind of knows what's going on. Alright? The man is just too smart for his own good. Now, the thing that happened was, when the Byakuya gang ended up at the pawn shop and they tried to make an escape, you had the class rep kind of keeping tabs on them, and they actually called in Temari, and that's when Temari started going in on them. Now, what ended up happening was everybody split off, right? So Ryogi was the only one that was getting chased by Temari. Temari asked help from Boruto. That was pretty cool, by the way, how, like, you know, they had, like, Temari working with Boruto, and even Chikadai, even though Chikadai really didn't do much. I did like that little bit of the episode. It was pretty nice. Now, somebody that was walking around did help Ryogi escape from Temari by telling them that he went a different way than where he was actually at. So here's the thing, man. Like, Chikadai obviously already knows, and the whole thing is that because Chikadai is the one that made the connection with this guy first, with Ryogi, they're gonna use Chikadai to basically be like, okay, I know who you are, bro. And that's basically how we're gonna get, like, the quote-unquote unmasking, even though we already know who he is and everything. Again, I think Ryogi is actually really innocent, right? You know, he's actually trying to help out people as much as he can. He wants to believe in the cause of stealing from the rich to give to the poor. I think his dad, though, doesn't really have that same idea in mind. I don't know how it's gonna all, like, come down at the end of the day. I really don't. But I really hope that at the very least they don't just rush it, or don't do it too slowly. You know, just keep the nice pace that's actually happening now. Because, you know, even with the scenes of Chikadai playing Chogi, even with the scenes of, like, the characters being in their own head, everything's moving at a pretty nice pace, alright? I wasn't expecting, like I said before, I wasn't expecting this much action to go down in this week's episode. And it did, right? But as for next week's episode, we already kind of got a preview, and, you know, Chikadai kind of confronts Ryogi, so I don't know what's gonna happen then. But tell me what you guys thought of the episode, man. Tell me, because honestly, most of the episode was just like a lot of Chikadai stuff. It was a lot of Chikadai stuff. Boruto was in there, but he didn't feel like the main guy of the episode, if that makes sense. It felt like it was all Chikadai's doing. But you know what? I'm gonna sit here, and I know some of you guys were gonna tell me, hey, why didn't you talk about this part, and this part, and this part? It's like, you know what? I want to talk about the important bits of the episode. I want to talk about the things that really do matter, because I don't want to, I'm trying to get away from the habit of, like, summarizing what happened on the episode and then just leaving it at that. I wanted to give you guys my thoughts and opinions and analyze stuff the way I could analyze it. But yeah, I'm done, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm gonna leave here, okay? I love you. Peace.